All right, so I got a question for you today as we kick off this week. And the question is kind of a deep one. And the question is, do you really know what the word no means? I think that some of us have a definition of the word no that's not a very healthy one. We oftentimes think of it as rejection. We think it as failure. We think that somebody doesn't like us. It's a very emotional word when somebody says no. You ask somebody to go on a date with you, they say no. You ask somebody to help you, they say no. You ask somebody to join you and go someplace with you, no. And there's all this negative feeling that goes with it. But let me ask you a question, is that if you were to change your perspective on no, and you were to change it to be a healthy one, so that every time you heard the word no, it opened up an opportunity, or it opened up a positive response rather than a negative response. How would your life be different? I'm curious. What would be different about your life if you had a healthy relationship with the word no? Now, some of you may not hear no very often, and sometimes that's because maybe you're not pursuing new opportunities or you're not trying to do. But sometimes people hear no all the time. And it's got to the point where maybe it's a little frustrating and discouraging, where maybe you stop going after something that's important to you. Maybe you stop chasing a goal or stop chasing a dream. You stop chasing something that's important to you because you've heard the word no too many times. Well, I've been there and I've understood where you're at, and I just have a different perspective on the word no. I'm still working on it, so it's not something that I would say that I have a perfect definition or a perfect perspective on it, but I do have a different perspective on it, and I want to share it with you to see if it may help you to accomplish things in your life or to do things in your life that you'd like to do, but maybe you haven't because you've gotten away from wanting to feel this sense of rejection or discouragement or failure. So the first thing is to understand that sometimes no is not right now. And sometimes somebody gives you an answer because they truly don't know enough about what you're asking them to do or about what you want to do. So if you look at it as an opportunity to educate, to awaken, to be able to inspire, to be able to share what it is that's important to you, to share what's on your heart with somebody. Sometimes, when a person is approached about something, they oftentimes have their own interpretation or definition of certain words and certain meanings and certain emotions. And so sometimes you hear the word no because a person's scared or they're afraid of failing. They're afraid of doing something that's uncomfortable to them. And so you have to understand that that's not necessarily a no forever. That could just be that they just need to know more about what it is that you're doing or what it is that you want them to do. And you need to simply show them that it's not as scary or it's not as risky or it's not as challenging as what they first thought about when you first invited them in. So going out on a date, hey, that might be very intimidating to somebody. Going to a party with other people, that could be intimidating. But if you want somebody to go with you, to do whatever it is that you want to do, to have fun, to go on vacations, and you hear the word no, be curious. Keep a growth mindset. Keep open to the idea about maybe there's something that you could provide to them that would help them to know something different than they know today, and that may equal a yes. And you also may find people that say not right now because timing and opportunity just haven't matched. And so if you're in a position where maybe somebody has not necessarily joined something that you want them to join, or that you haven't seen progress in something that you want to see progress on, and it just keeps coming back, no, no, no. I used to be in the mortgage business, and I remember going to the underwriters, and the underwriters would say no to loan approvals or to loan submissions that I would provide. But oftentimes they would say, if you do this, this, and this, then we'd say yes. And that's the case for most people. It's not just in the mortgage world, it's actually in life. Most people will say yes to things that are maybe not as risky as they thought they were going to be. They don't necessarily have to deal with as much comfort, or there's enough extreme value that they're willing to go through sacrifice, and they're willing to be uncomfortable, and they're willing to do new things and try different methodologies. You might be in a situation at work where you're trying to get things done and people keep saying no to your ideas. And maybe it's just the fact that they haven't seen the value in your ideas yet, and you need to be persistent. When I first started off in the world of professional football, there wasn't a lot of people that wanted me. There was a lot of people that said no to my request to come try out. There wasn't a big opportunity where somebody was, bringing me in and flying me places and really treating me like the red carpet had been rolled out. But what I did is I just simply said that I had enough reasons of why I wanted to play professional football. So I was willing to embrace the number of no's that I needed to embrace so that I can start to get the not yets and then the yeses. And I can tell you from personal experiences and from the testimonials of other people that I've talked to is that you only have to go through a certain number of no's before you find a yes. Sometimes it's just the way that people view you, and some people don't view you as the valuable you, and some people do. Sometimes it's just the law of averages, having a number of people that tell you no so that you can find the right person to say yes. So if you've been hearing the word no in your life, can I just encourage you? It's not a negative. It's an opportunity for feedback. There is no rejection, there is no failure, there is no discouragement, there's only feedback. And there might be some things that you need to tighten up, might be some things that you need to shore up, might need to be some things that you need to show some more value before a person actually decides to join you, or before a person decides to date you, or to say yes to your projects, or to say yes to your opportunities inside of a promotion or something of that nature. So just don't get discouraged. Stay positive about the opportunities, and if you need some help, go find the movie Yes Man with Jim Carrey in it and just watch it for just a moment. Because if you keep saying yes when other people are saying no, you may find that you may end up having a breakthrough in 2020, and it very well may be the healthiest and best year ever. If this is helpful to you, I'd love to see your comments down below and your takeaways about what no you're going to fight through and what you're going to get to know about adding more value to that person. And share this video with other people if you found it beneficial, and maybe it'll encourage somebody else. Have a great week, everybody.